Welcome to the Child Anxiety FAQ podcast. FAQ stands for Frequently Asked Questions, and I'm answering your questions about child and teen anxiety. My name is Dawn Friedman, and I've been working with kids and families for more than 30 years as a preschool teacher, parent educator, family case manager, clinical counselor, and now as the owner and operator of Child Anxiety Support, a coaching program for parents of anxious kids. And this month, we're talking about sleep, all about sleep, because of the launch of my 6-week coaching program, Bedtime Navigator, which is to help parents of anxious children get a good night's sleep. And this is the final question, which is, how can I create a bedtime routine that helps my anxious child feel more secure and comfortable? Let's just dial that down to how can I create a bedtime routine? First of all, you create a routine that basically is moving your child from the end of day to the start of bedtime. It's kind of this liminal space where we're saying, okay, we're going to calm ourselves. We're going to get ourselves ready for the idea of sleep. We are going to prepare our bodies and our brains for sleep, which means anything that is not within that goal, that parameter of moving towards sleep, should not be part of the bedtime routine. And a lot of us get confused about that. We bring in other sorts of things into our bedtime routine, like putting away homework, picking out clothes for the next day, feeding the dog, packing your backpack. All of those things are routines that might need to get done and taken care of, but they are not part of the bedtime routine because none of them are serving this idea of getting our brains and bodies ready for bed. So what are the kinds of things that get us ready for bed? Brushing teeth, washing our face, taking a shower, putting on our jammies, getting into bed, reading a book, having a story read to us, having some kind of connection and ritual around saying goodbye to the day and hello to sleep time. So sometimes that's when people will say, let's talk about our day. That's a time when parents and kids connect. But notice the topic of conversations that you're having. Are they conversations that allow us to say goodbye to the day and prepare us for sleep? Or are they big conversations that are opening up doors to topics that are going to be upsetting or energizing or invigorating? Are they topics that are bringing greater calm to your child? That's something to look at. Is the routine creating space for relaxation and sleep? So that might mean that you're going to winnow down some of the things that you do. It doesn't mean you're not going to do those things in the evening. It doesn't mean that your child isn't going to pack their backpack or pack their lunch or talk to you about their day. But once the bedtime routine starts, it's all about bedtime. It's all about moving them from, say, the family room where they were watching shows or the kitchen where they were doing their homework to their bedroom where they are going to sleep. So there's some other things that we look at too when we're looking at sleep and anxiety. And one of those things is the bedroom a sleep conducive environment? Part of the routine might be creating a sleep inducive environment. That might mean that we shift the lights, we dim the lights. It might mean that we turn on white noise. It might mean that we formally shut down the computer, put away the homework, turn the bedroom from the space that we were doing something else to the space for rest and sleep. The other thing is that a bedtime routine should not be complex. It should be 3 to 5 steps. So you maybe are brushing teeth, washing face, taking a shower, that's a step. Putting on jammies might be a second step, or it might be in the post-shower step. Getting the bedroom ready, dimming the lights, getting into bed, fluffing your pillow, getting your book, that might be another step. And then the third and fourth step might be that your parent comes in and reads to you or checks in with you or tucks you in, and then you're reading to yourself before you finally go to sleep. If the bedtime routine is not working, if your child is popping up out of bed or stalling, then that is a whole nother discussion about boundaries and sticking with the routine and kind of cleaning up things so that it is that 3 to 5 step, really clear, linear narrative of bedtime. If you're struggling with these other pieces, like I said, this is another conversation, and it's actually the second thing we do in Bedtime Navigator. The first thing we do is learn more about sleep and sleep hygiene, and then the second part is creating the routine and making sure that everything that we're doing is creating this sleep, this whole culture of sleep, and that we're figuring out how to organize those other things that might need to happen but are creating more agitation or conflict or struggle in the bedtime. Some of this is talking to parents about what they are doing with their child in the evening, how they're handling setting and enforcing boundaries, how they're handling it if their child is creating conflict or creating stalls to try to get away from bedtime. Bedtime is a time where we see anxiety increase, and part of that is we're tired, and when we're tired, our anxiety increases. And part of that too is bedtime is ultimately a separation. And if our child has separation anxiety, then we'll see that worry come up. They'll want us to lay down with them longer. They'll resist us getting on with the things we need to do in the evening. They may keep coming out to find us, what we're doing in the house, check in with us, try to reconnect with us. And also for kids who have any kind of school refusal or general anxiety about the next day, they may resist sleep because sleep is going to make the next day come faster. And then to kids who have nightmares or who struggle with laying in bed and worrying may also resist bedtime because it means they are going to have to engage in that worry. So how can I create a bedtime routine that helps your anxious child? Again, create a routine. Make sure the routine speaks to sleep. Make sure that it's pretty simple and clear, 3 to 5 steps, and then stick with it. Stick with the boundaries, hold the boundaries, figure out where to put the other pieces that are showing up at night, figure out where you're going to do the other things that you need to get done to prepare for the next day so they aren't creeping into bedtime, and figure out how you're going to handle any inevitable pushback from your child. If you are struggling with this, I do encourage you to check out Bedtime Navigator, because a lot of this general advice, although it is correct, may not be that helpful to you because your particular child is going to push back or struggle in particular ways. Your particular needs may not be addressed by this general information I'm giving you. And that is why you need a personalized support to create an approach that works for you. You need a plan that takes into account your particular needs, your child's specific needs, and is one that you can execute, is one that you're going to be able to follow through on. So if you need help with that, I do encourage you to check out Bedtime Navigator at my website, childanxietysupport.com. You can ask me any questions you like about it. This is the last episode that is specifically about sleep and promoting Bedtime Navigator. But if you have other questions about sleep that you'd like me to address on the show, please reach out and let me know. You can direct message me, and maybe I'll bring it to the podcast.